for 22 years, a total of 22 years. November 11th, it's going to be a total of 23 years that I lender. Okay. And this is the first time I'm sharing my screen on Google Meets. So as I bring this up, can everybody see my screen okay? Can everybody see my screen? Okay. So the just going back and just backtracking on how I learned about mortgages and the industry, conventional world. Okay. I started off as an assistant for a high producing person who did a lot of jumbo and conventional financing that and that entails a lot of working and strategizing. So I was able to bring those tools over to a lot of the community lending and affordable housing programs that I have worked with NHS, Northern Trust, one of the leading loan officers in that space with CRA, community and affordable housing lending. Then I came back out to the regular normal financing world about 2016, 2017. Where I'm able to help like a lot more people. Okay. So on the agenda today, I want to talk about building your pipeline, marketing down payment assistance. Okay. So you guys are going to have to take some notes, especially on the down payment assistance side. The soft pull credit, getting a commitment from that applicant to actually apply, which when speaking with Sanina, culturally, there is a lot of potential buyers who don't apply because they don't want that hard pull on their credit. Okay. They don't want that hard pull on their credit, but you need the credit pulled so we can get you approved or not. So now I have a soft pull option available, and it's a 3 bureau soft pull option available. And then, talking about building your team. Okay. And I am going to leave you guys off with a small bonus that I didn't tell Sanina about. But we're going to wrap up with a little tool that a lot of my core agents have been excited about. And it's just going to help with farming. Okay. So the first thing, building your pipeline. Okay. And I'll be able to forward you guys over this presentation. You guys have to dig into your database and database management. So I don't know what tools, Sanina, or that you guys have. You are the CEO of your business, right? So you take leadership in documenting who you speak to, how they found you. That's important because you have to figure out where your efforts have to maintain, and their contact information. Leave space for notes, and this could literally be a 5-column Excel spreadsheet. This should be your baby, and if you haven't started one, go back and start one today. Okay, go back and start one today. If you have a CRM system, make sure you actually in there taking care of it, cultivating it, and digging in there, because I have found that as we are in this market shift, there is a lot of individuals who will try to go after the business that you've already tendered to, right? So how are you holding yourself accountable in digging back in and doing those checking in with them? Okay. But the biggest piece that I wanted to talk about, and I'm not sure what your strategies are, so I'm just going to come from a baseline, okay, of my top referring agent. She gives me a referral. It's 90% that these people are going to submit their application and submit all of their documents. And from that 90% conversion, 85% of these people get pre-approved. And I'm measuring these metrics since we've been working together since 2017. So there is some history there. Most agents, it's anywhere between a 30 to 60 conversion. This particular agent is the only one I know who spends a lot of time on the upfront buyer's consultation without them even being pre-approved yet. She's not handing them off to me once they call and say, hey, I want to buy a house. You get the warm and fuzzies, you make them feel good about committing to you. And then it's like, all right, I'm going to refer you over to my lender. Okay. I'm going to refer you over to my lender. That conversation actually takes place after the education piece and the screening piece. Okay. So if you wanted to cultivate and ensure that anytime you're giving a lead over to your mortgage lender or to your preferred lender, 85% of the time they're going to complete the application. And of those 85%, 90% of the people are going to get pre-approved. It's really tightening up on that upfront buyer's consultation. And I don't mean buyer's consultation the way you would when you get the pre-approval and finding out exactly what they want to live. But you want to dig deep. Her questionnaire, it's about 10 deep questions. Hey, oh, that's exciting. How long have you been trying to get pre-approved? Oh, this is your first time. You know nothing about home ownership and purchasing. How long have you worked? What does your credit look like? Do you have any savings? She's always recommending anywhere between 8 to 15,000 on that initial call. Okay. On that initial call. Do you have all of your paperwork together? Do you know how to acquire and get your your pay stubs, your tax returns? Does your company have, oh no, I only get direct deposit. Does your company have an app, an ADP? Can you contact your HR department? Now, mind you, this realtor does have a virtual assistant, but she didn't always have a virtual assistant. Okay. She didn't always have a virtual assistant. So it might be easiest for us to say, well, she has a lot of support. Yeah, now. Okay. And when she started with me, she had a full-time job. She used to work for CHA. Okay. So she used to work from 9 to 5, and she still had to go through the screening process where it's like, you're not ready to talk to a lender yet. You're not ready. What is it that you need? And now she becomes the expert on either referring them to, some sort of housing agency, comes up with a plan, or if they're not even able to come to a plan, these people are what you call your Shark Tank leads. You check on them every quarter. You make sure you invite them to all of your events. If you have a live or if you have a webinar that you're doing, that's part of your database. But you're always ending with asking for the business, asking for a referral. One of the best ways that I have seen recently, right? Because trends change. Asking for the referral is not like, if you know anybody who's looking to buy a house, no. We're going to change that narrative a little bit. You say, hey, if you happen to be anywhere and anybody mentions real estate, interest rates, refinancing, can I be your real estate person? Will you commit to giving my contact information? If you're at a dinner party, if you're with family and friends, it doesn't have to just be about buying a house, because you need to organically find ways for somebody, a trusted, you have to find the champions in your circles. Okay. I have a champion who is, and I'm just giving you an example. It's my cousin's mother. Any new program that I post anywhere, she tries to find me 3 people. 3 of them don't work, but she's making the calls and putting my name constantly out there. She was also here selling her condo on Friday, and she was trying to figure out how she could help the homeless. So she was making calls and figuring out who was giving stuff. That's a champion. If usually we used to call them busybodies, right? But if you find those champions in your network, that's somebody that you want to constantly check in with and say that, hey, please remember me. I don't care if they're talking about whatever they're talking about, renting, interest rates, refinancing. Can I be your real estate person? Okay. So that's a good way to ask for the business, because now you're committing them to not only thinking of you in the future when they get ready or during the process, but you've also got a commitment and you make them repeat it. Like, are you sure you're going to be able to refer me? Do you have my latest phone number? Okay, just you're going to ask them not only for their business, but for all of those around you, around them. Okay. So you're giving them the script. Some people, they just need, how do I send her a business? Like, I don't know if Fossa wants me to give out her personal phone number. Baby, Google me. My number is public to everyone. Okay. My number is public to everyone, but they need to know that. Some people don't know that you want your information out there. And then calling works. Okay. Plus email, plus text. You ask people all the time, lock in my phone number. Every time I talk to them, if it's my first call, it's always lock in my phone number. I'm locking in your number. Can you lock in mine? So they never confuse you with spam calls. Or the famous is, oh, if I don't got the number stored, I don't pick it up. I've had clients tell me that. I'm like, so, but you're buying a house. How are you supposed to store my number? So calling works, right? But also a a scheduled call block is what I do every day. And I'm going to give you guys, even though we're in different industries, this can be very relative to you guys. Every day I have a call block. So on Mondays, I take out an hour to an hour and a half to call all my top agents. If they don't pick up, it's just a quick text. Hey, how you doing? Just checking in. What'd you do this weekend? I saw you on Instagram. That dress was so pretty. So that is going to be every Monday. I always do my top agent calls. That might look a little different for you. Okay. Discover who your top referral sources are, where you're getting the tone of your business, and that's who you're checking in with. On Tuesdays, I reach out and give status updates on all my files. I'm checking in with both sides of the transaction. So this is buyers and sellers. And usually I don't, buyers and sellers agents, the client, and usually I don't check in with attorneys, but I will send a quick email. I don't know what that would look like for you guys and your business, but like I said, it gives you an idea of how I'm still able to ensure that I get referrals consistently, no matter what's happening in the market. Although there's a market shift, there is a lot more work going in, but I will guarantee you that I will still be closing loans for many, many years, right? But because I do this work. On Wednesdays, I do all pre-approval follow-ups. Everyone who's pre-approved, I will follow up with them. I have pre-approvals that haven't converted since last year. We've been there. We know you have clients who are approved and you can't get them into a house, either because the offers were not accepted or the multiple bid situation or just not locating anything in their inventory. We still want to check in with them because somebody else might be. They might just happen to have clicked something on Zillow and found a property they're just interested in. It says, you want to learn more, click here. And now their number is in another agent's database. So if they're not hearing from you, they might be hearing from somebody else. So check in with them. And if it's hard for you to do that, create a text message, copy paste it, and send it to everybody that you received a pre-approval for, any of your pre-approved clients. And if you don't know how to identify that, This is the perfect time to stop and create that Excel spreadsheet or really understand your CRM. In an Excel spreadsheet, you can just color code it, right? Green could be for pre-approved, whatever colors work for you. And those are the ones that you would check in with every Wednesday. On Thursdays happen to be one of my busiest days.
Hey, Nina.
Yes.
I just wanted to chime in. We're at the 9:30 mark, so you have about 15 more minutes if you need to take it.
Cool.
Okay.
And then on Fridays, well, Thursdays, I think I just leave it for an admin day. But on Fridays, I check in with my potential business referral partners. So these are going to be my attorneys and insurance agents. Usually that's just a text. Lamont, if I have anything coming up, it's just a quick text. So that's what I do on Fridays. But I'm always calling people. And if you don't know who to call, that's my platform on who I'm calling weekly. Now, marketing down payment assistance. The first one is you want to get familiar with these programs, but IDA, we all know and love it. Okay. Jot down and take some notes. You have $6,000, 7,500, and $10,000 options with IDA. 640 credit score, 1 to 2 units. And if you have you can go up to 50% debt to income ratio. IDA had been at 45% debt ratio for a very long time. So now they're at 50% debt ratio. And the income limit is 132,000. That is very generous. It's only for the people who are on the loan, not for your household income. You want to get yourself familiar with this program, but you don't want to have to memorize it. If you guys need highlights, I can follow up and send you the highlights on this. But also, IDA has something that's very cool. They have marketing flyers online for you. All you have to do is put in your headshot, your contact information, and you're all set. The next program, this is one that I am only promoting face to face with real estate agents or already pre-approved individuals in my pipeline. You may have heard of it already. Okay. This is the CHA City of Chicago Down Payment Assistance, where you're getting $20,000 in down payment assistance. They don't have to be CHA recipients. The money is just filtered through CHA. This is a conventional only program. Okay, conventional only program. You can use it for up to 1 to 4 units. And it does allow for a renovation. Now, if you guys want to jot down, the client is required to have $3,000 into the transaction. They're required to have $3,000 into the transaction. So technically that 20K can cover down payment and closing costs minus their 3K requirement. They cannot walk away with any money. I have a link for you guys on that. And if you wanted to dig through your pipeline and see who said, I don't have any money right now, this might be a good opportunity to start calling some people. In regards to the income guidelines, a family size of 1 is 61,000. And you don't have to make notes of this because I'm going to send this to you afterwards. A family of 2 is 70,000. Family of 3, 79,000. Family of 4, 88,000. Family of 5, 95,000. Not as generous income as Ida, but I currently have 2 families who are in process. So this does work. Okay, there are still people out there who can qualify for this program. Okay, so this has been one of my secret sauces for the last 6 months, where I'm getting people to commit to apply. I had someone for 3 days resistant to complete the application. And as soon as I told them that it was a soft pull credit, it took them half an hour to have a completed application. Okay, so this is not, this is a legitimate true credit report. It is just considered a soft pull. Most housing agencies have access to this. Once I actually convert it to a hard pull credit, it's the same algorithm reporting. This is not like a Credit Karma versus a real credit report. This is a 100% legitimate credit report that allows me to look at all 3 bureaus. Okay. Now I need to make sure that their credits are unfrozen because it's just a headache trying to get that soft pull in. But the main requirement is that the borrower has to apply. Why is that? Because then it would just be Nina Gonzalez trying to pull credit for anybody that she knew. Okay. So it has to be completed by the actual applicant through our links. You select looking to purchase, trying to see what I can afford. And this is what triggers Guaranteed Rates Engine to make it a soft pull credit. These instructions are always on my intro emails as well for those who are hesitant to have a hard credit pull. And all documents are required to complete the review. I will issue what's called a level 1 pre-approval. And I say that this is with a soft pull credit report. But this has put your people who have marginally unsure of credit, it has either put them on a path to restoration or on a path to being able to get pre-approved. My contact information. And that concludes the regular part of my presentation. I have one small bonus for you guys, where I'm going to show you how to, and you guys may know this, do you guys know how to find pre-foreclosures in Cook County for free?
Oh.
Okay. So that's what we're going to do.
Any questions for Nina so far?
I got a quick question. That CHA program, that information is on their site, the details of
It
it?
is, I'm going to send you guys the whole link. So I'm
Okay.
going to send you the link to that website
Okay.
once we're done. But if you like, you could do, let me see if I can actually drop it in the chat. Does this have a chat feature? It has to have a chat feature, right? Okay.
If you click on the little next to the show everyone, where you can see how many, you can click on a little chat box feature. If you hover over, it says chat with everyone. I'll type something now. Okay, I just typed something. You should see my.
That's the link to the CHA program.
I think Tara had her hand raised. Tara, did you have a question?
Where is it?
You said no.
No,
Okay.
that was an accident.
Did you see it, Candy?
No, I'm looking for chat.
Oh,
The chat box.
next to the people. Yeah, Selena had to tell me where to find it.
To the right, you see the people, and then you'll see a little box. Click on that. If you hover over it, it says chat with everyone. On the right
Probably
hand.
because I'm on my phone. I'll wait till you send the
Oh,
PDF.
I'm sure.
Okay,
I'll
if
make
you
sure.
on
There
your
it is.
phone,
I see it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
okay,
see it.
you see it? Okay.
Okay.
So,
I just
Yeah,
sent you guys
thank you.
2 links. One of them is to the CHA Down Payment Assistance Program. The second one is what we're going to be doing now. So we can set, this is where you will find the pre-foreclosure filings in Cook County, where you will be able to farm areas for potential listings and also become that, once again, that real estate expert for individuals who find themselves in any kind of whatever that might look like, right? So here we're going to go to search recordings. It's important to always start from the beginning on this website. So I've added this link to the chat as well. Okay, search recordings, advanced search. Oh, it opened up a new screen. Hold on, it opened up a new screen. All right. So you're going to select advanced search. We're going to scroll down to grantor grantee name search. Grantor grantee name search. Here, I'm just going to type in, let's type in US Bank. What we're looking for is the lending institutions who have filed pre-foreclosures in Cook County. Okay. And the document type, you're going to scroll down and you're going to select Liz Hendens and Liz Hendens foreclosure. Now, I've done some research on this, right, since last week. I have just in my mind, you guys have to keep in mind I'll show you how to acquire the information. You have to figure out the business strategy, how you're going to utilize this information and data for yourself. Why did I pick May, right? Because if you issue a foreclosure filing, June, July, August, September, they have to be doing something by now. You can select it even the following month. And this is the perfect opportunity for you guys to start reaching out to potential listings. You can search different banks and different servicers in Cook County. So when I hit search, okay, I have to start again because that is not what happens. I just checked this before getting on here with you guys. All right, so here we have 24 filings that Chase issued in May, okay? And you have all of the contact information here, address, and if this is one of your farming areas, how are you going to reach out to these people, right? If you select on this document, the original mortgage was dated in 2007. So what does that mean to you? It starts with an E, ends with a Y.
They have
They
equity.
have equity. So here you have Tina Hall either needs some assistance, which you could be of service to her in that way, or she just might need a referral to a housing agency because there's some sales that we really shouldn't be doing or pushing. These people may have just gotten into a hard time or only have not been able to recover from a COVID forbearance. And with a housing agency, they just aren't opening their mail. But you become that trusted expert and it gets you one more opportunity to say, if you find anybody who needs to buy, sell, or talks about real estate, will you commit to sharing my information? One of the agents that I shared this with, he started looking at June and found that in his farming area, 2 of the 32 properties that were filed for foreclosure listings, less pendant filings, 2 of them were listed in Inglewood in his direct farming area. So if he would have had this information a little sooner, there could have been an opportunity that he at least gets an at bat to try to list this property. If any time, the time is now to get familiar with this. Okay, because there are still people coming off of the COVID moratorium who have not set themselves up or just thought they were just not gonna pay a mortgage. All right. So I added a link to the chat, but if you guys wanted to run through it one more time, it is advanced search. Grantor, grantee, search. Document type is going to be list pendants foreclosure and list pendants. And I always recommend to do 30-day increments on your searches. Keep in mind, this is still Cook County's website. They're not going to be able to give you a lot of data because it's just going to overburden the search engine. And think about your timing as well. Did you want to look at people who are really in distress? So you want to look at these filings maybe the beginning of the year, because it takes about 9 to 11 months to get foreclosed in Cook County. So if you're looking at people who are currently like high distress, where either you put yourself in an opportunity to acquire property for investment, okay, or you have somebody lined up who's looking to purchase in that area and you can connect the two immediately. So that would probably be February, March. All right. Searches. Another way is finding out who are the top 10 servicers who issued pre-approvals in Cook County. I'm just using US Bank and I use Chase and US Bank, and guys, I checked US Bank before getting on this with you, and it did have about 27 filings. So I'm not sure what happened there. So this is the bonus information that I have for you. Okay.
All right. Excellent. Melly, doesn't this sound familiar or feel familiar from when you were making those calls?
Yes, very familiar.
What were you doing, Melanie?
We had identified a list. I had purchased a list that had about 1,000 names in all these different categories. But this is the same type of list. It was pre-foreclosure. And so Melanie, being newer to real estate, was making calls. And not everyone, wanted to sell. Some people just needed help. And that's kind of the conversation that she and I had. And kind of coaching her to making the calls. You want to be a trusted advisor. Maybe you don't get a sale out of it, but you get an advocate, right? And anyone that they know looking to buy or sell, they're going to refer the person that helped them keep their home, right? They're
Yes,
going to
this
refer
is
the person
true.
that took the time to reach out to them to say, hey, are you in trouble? How can I help you? I noticed this filing. Do you want to sell? Do you want to keep? Like, what's your current situation? And we had a conversation with a mother and daughter. I remember that conversation, and they were just very grateful that we reached out.
But this is in a time where we're looking for people to call, or where you're looking for your farming areas. Maybe you might not reach out to 5109 West Gunnerson, but 5623 South Winchester is right up your alley. And with the data and systems that real estate agents have, you could probably find a phone number and an email address like Remind, Realtis, all of that can give you executable data so you guys can actually start working on this information. Also, and I know Sanina teaches you guys this very well, make sure you have a housing agency or an or somebody who's in that area that you can easily refer them to so they can look for assistance. Once a HUD housing agency is involved, it's a whole different ballpark with the bank. Okay, the bank now has to respond. If the client has been trying to do payment modifications or payment arrangements on their own, they're not going to get the same kind of response that you would with a HUD housing agency, because then they have what's called a waterfall and a timeline that has to be met, right? So make sure to have a housing agency partner that you can refer these people to, where you don't have to monitor the whole process, but just know that it's a good housing agency that actually has an intake process that's not making them run around everywhere. All right. So do you guys have any other questions for me?
Any more questions for Nina? And Nina, make sure you pop your information in the chat. And guys, I'm going to have Corey send out the recap. I'm actually, instead of having him email it, I'm going to post everything in our group, our private face group chat. So I'm going to force you guys to start using the tools that I've created, all this stuff, and we're going to use all this stuff. So every time we have $1 million call, I'm going to invite our partner to the private Facebook group. So Nina, you'll be able to share resources moving forward with our recharge agents. So no matter how many more agents we get, they'll be accessible to you in that group. And it's a private group. But then guys, this recording will be posted there, and then all of the resources and links that she shared will also be posted there for you guys to access.
Hey Nina, can
Yes.
you share with us a housing agency that you've used in the past?
I'm a big fan of the West Cook Home Ownership Center. I'm a big fan of theirs, not because of anything else except for they have an intake process that, yeah, they work from 9 to 4 p.m., but there's somebody taking the phone call, asking them what it's about, and setting up a follow-up appointment for them. Usually that happens within a call. Although I really do like the way, NHS sort of doesn't work for me in this instance, because you call in, you call a call center, you have to do a lot of selections to end up where you need to be. Whereas West Cook, they pick up the phone and it's an intake specialist who's picking up the phone. So she's directing your call and almost immediately setting you up appointments with a housing agency. And it might not be the closest one. It might not be it is like on Lake and Central, but it is my preferred because of their just the way they just pick up the phone. That's what I like. They just pick up the phone and try to do a triage. I had a gentleman who's having escrow issues, and the bank is constantly reporting him late to the mortgage, and we couldn't do a refinance. Well, I referred him at like maybe 1 p.m. and by 2:30 he had already called. They asked me to forward the documents that I had. I did, and his appointment was Friday at like 2:00, like 2 to 3 days away. Okay, so that's why I like them.
Thank you, Nina.
No problem.
All right. Any final questions for Nina before we wrap up with her segment? All right. Hearing none, let's give it up for Nina Gonzalez. Thank you so much, Nina. That was a wealth of information. And I love
Thank you, guys.
takeaway things that we can use right away. I took a number of notes and I'll share those today. I'll make some different social media, little quick short notes that I can post, and I'll tag you in that, and we can just create a chat and invite the community to jump on in and ask questions. And this will be a way for us to refer business to you, not just from us, but from the public as well. So make sure you guys reach out to Nina if you have any additional questions on anything that she shared today. But most importantly, refer. So if you have buyers that are looking to purchase, Nina is your girl. All right.
Thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Bye, Nina. You guys hang out a few more minutes. All right. So was that helpful? Was that good or was that good? Was that good or was that great?
Yes, it was good.
So I
That
got a
was
couple
good. I like that.
takeaways. Hopefully you guys took some notes. But when she
I
was
took all the
talking,
notes.
okay, good. So before I share, what was one thing that you took away from today's call that Nina shared?
The soft pull. I think it was the soft
Yes,
pull.
that.
Okay, you like the soft
Did
pull,
she
Foster?
Uh-huh. The soft pull, because a lot of people are so nervous. It's a hard pull. It's gonna mess with my credit. It's going to be
Mhm.
negatively impacting on my credit. Nope. I think it was the soft pull.
That's good, because that lets you see. Sometimes people want to kind of tippy toe into the process. And a lot of times in our community, we're a little bit insecure. You know, we might have had credit challenges. We know we're working on some things. We don't know where we are quite yet. And we definitely don't want to do anything that's going to derail the entire process. So letting them know that it's a soft pull gives them some confidence. Did you have something, Tyra?
I got a question. So with the soft pull, was it a link that she dropped, or was it us sending our buyers to her so she can do the soft pull for them, right?
So the link was at her guarantee rate website,
Okay.
and then she showed which option to select, which was I'm just looking or something like that.
Yeah. Okay, sounds good.
But I would just, connect with her so that way you have an opportunity to build your own personal relationship. These are just introductions. Build from here, guys. Don't let this be the first and only time you've spoken with our guests. Use this as an opportunity to build on that relationship so that way you have a clear process that you're going to use and you know who to use for what. Because some are really, really good at challenging situations. Some are good, if it's a multifamily property. Some are good if it's whatever. So depending on the scenario, you'll have tools in your arsenal to have different referral partners for different things. Or you'll have the best referral partner based on the people who've been presented to you. Any other takeaways before we shift?
My takeaway was the call block every day. I've been it's been constantly being put in my face every day, well, you need to have a time block. And it's just okay, I need to really have a time block. And it kind of makes sense when it's just what you're doing each day. So that was helpful.
I love how she shared schedule. I mean, our schedule as real estate professionals is a little bit different than lenders because I call block daily, right? That's on my calendar every day to do, because if you're not prospecting, you're not feeding your business. So if you're asking yourself, why is my business fluctuating, or where am I going to get business from? Are you going to get the business? And the way you go to get it is to pick up the phone. I think in this day and age with so much automation, email, text, we can try to set it and forget it. You got to put in that additional effort to pick up the phone, make those phone calls, call your past clients, call those pre-approvals. I love how she says she has a pre-approval follow-up day. How many people have we spoken to, gotten pre-approved, they haven't bought a home, or the market is changing? Make it a systematic process for you to follow up with people and helping them to get started. And I love how you can segue that soft pull into reassuring people of the process, right? So maybe they're not ready just yet, but help them get ready. All right, so let's segue really quickly. We're going to go over the 10 o'clock mark today. So hang in there with me for an extra 10 or 15 minutes if you can, because we got some additional things that I want to touch base on, and we're going to pick this back up tomorrow at our Let's Talk About It at our monthly sales meeting. So today, here was my takeaway before we switch gears. You are the CEO of your business.
Mm-hmm.
That about summed it up for me. You are the CEO of your business. Treat this like a business. If you know you have limited time in the evenings, you have the baby or the kids or the husband or additional business, or you work somewhere or whatever your thing is, make sure you're intentional for the time that you do have. Be laser focused. Don't allow anything to interfere or interrupt that time. If that's your call blocking time, if that's your door knocking time, I'm going to tell you something. In 2023, we got to get uncomfortable. We don't want to door knock because it's not safe. Baby, you drive down the street every day. You let Uber bring you food. You let a stranger put your food in their car and bring it to you. That ain't safe. So let's just get uncomfortable, right? What this opportunity is, it could become a life-changing opportunity by just knocking on that door to say, hey, Miss Jenkins, my name is Sanina Ellison Jones. I noticed that I'm a real estate professional with Recharge Inc. I specialize in assisting homeowners to stay in their home. I don't mean to impose, but as I do my research weekly, your name and address came across my desk. Is there a way that I can assist you? One of the conversations that Melanie and I had, they know they're in pre-foreclosure.
Yep.
You know when you haven't paid your mortgage, you
Yep.
know, right? And it's embarrassing for them. They're ashamed. People are suffering in silence, and people's homes are being lost every single day. And I say Miss Jenkins because Miss Jenkins is probably that 78-year-old woman with no heirs,
Mm-hmm.
with limited income, who may not have a clear path to how she's going to keep this. And she just going to live there until they come and tell her she can't live there no more. So whatever that situation is, but you can uncover an opportunity, or you can help her get out of that situation. Or at a minimum, you've shown up at a time when she needs someone. So you can determine what that sounds like, but don't be afraid. Let's get out of our own way and let's be the advocates in our community, because now what you've created is a lifetime advocate in Miss Jenkins or whoever else that the individual may be. So you are the CEO of your business. I think that about sums up everything that we talked about today. So here's my question to you, to go back to the call, to go back to the very beginning of the call today. How do you show up? Where do you show up? And do you show up how you want to be known? Who Googled themselves recently? What'd you find, Tara?
What I found that a lot of my personal information is online, and I don't like
Isn't
that.
Okay.
But a little of my social media came up, but it was like a mixture of like this flower company and different stuff. So I need to be more at the top.
So your name being Tara Flowers, do you have a middle initial?
Yeah, I do.
Maybe you can be Tara. What's your middle initial?
L. Lachey.
Tara L. Flowers. Or if you use Lachey, I've seen you use that with your other business. You determine your brand. But whatever it is, make sure you show up like that all the time, because that helps when people search for you. That helps to differentiate Tara Flowers from the flower company.
Right.
Right. So that helps to create that delineation. Did anybody else Google themselves?
I Googled myself, and
what came up for Candy Thomas?
Recharge Inc., and Zillow. That's it for the most part. I'm comfortable with that. I'm comfortable with that. Zillow, actually, I try to stay on Zillow because, believe it or not, that's where people go first to find you. I got that land listing. Somebody, Chinese lady, I don't know what she is. She found me on Zillow. So she picked me out of all the different agents on Zillow to list her land in Little Village for $500,000. I've gotten a couple of clients. Hey, how did you find my information? How did you hear about me? From Zillow. I just have an updated picture and I try to record myself, but I'm gonna tell y'all something funny. My daughter and her friends, Mom, my friends found you on Zillow. Mom, maybe you should go back to the bank. Why, Morgan? Because Mom, it says you only sold 18 houses.
It'd be your own kids.
It'd be your own kids. It'd be your own kids. And she was like, she was like, it only says you sold 18 houses. So.
That's funny.
But
Listen,
yeah,
you have to be intentional. Be intentional about how you show up. So here's a couple sites where I want you to create a profile. As a real estate professional, when I first started in the business, one of the things that was drilled into me was creating my online profile. And it was like Yelp.com. And I'm like, I don't want to, like, why do I care? Here's why it's so imperative. We're so accustomed to wanting to work with our own friends and family. The reality is those are the people that are least likely to work with you. They know you as Sanina from 1995 that used to break dance on 79th Street, right? They don't know you today as the real estate guru mogul that you are. They not gonna never forget you break dance, and I never break dance on 79th Street, but I'm just saying, everybody has their thing. And whatever that thing was, people still know you how they choose to know you, no matter how many or how much. And so what I want you to think about is your job is to do business with the people you haven't met yet. Those are the people that you meet at the events. Those are the people that are going to Google you because they found your name, referred to them by so-and-so or such and such, who was a trusted person that they respect, right? So this builder does business in the community. He said to work with Sanina. She's an amazing real estate agent. I've never met Sanina. What's the first thing I'm going to do? I'm going to look her up. I'm going to Google you. And guess what becomes much more attractive? You become almost instantly validated if you're Googleable. And I don't know if that's a word, but that's going to be the quote of the day. Are you Googleable? When I Google you, do you exist? I don't want to work with the agent that don't exist. Do you? No. So make sure you're not the agent that doesn't exist. How do I exist? Okay. Couple sites. I want you to write these down. Your job today, by tomorrow, is to have a profile on all of these sites. So we got realtor.com. It's free. We got yelp.com. It's free. We got LinkedIn. Melanie said she hates that old picture on LinkedIn. Well, change it. It's your picture. Yeah. Zillow.com. You got your personal websites, recharge.com. What information are people finding? There was an old, ugly picture that used to come up when I Googled myself when I was in Chicago Agent Magazine. I went to an event. My hair was laid, but my face looked so fat and boxy, and I hated that picture, and it just kept coming up. It was another picture. I had this ugly lipstick on. Make sure when you go to these events, you show up how you want to show up. Make sure you dress however you want to be dressed. Because when they capture you, they're capturing a snapshot in time. And that picture is going wherever they put it, right? We went to the Beyonce concert. I didn't look to see if my picture was on her website, but they told me it was going to be. So hopefully I show up how I want to look. But all of this stuff adds to your SEO search. So let me show you what it looks like real quick when you look at SaninaEllison.com. When you search Sanina Ellison. Can you guys still see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So when you search for Sanina Ellison, I didn't even put Jones, but it instantly Zillow comes up. Homes.com. Hold on, let me change. Homes.com. My Facebook bio. Chicago Agent Magazine. Facebook again. Chicago Homes Realty Group. LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, Land.com, Crunchbase, HomeSnap, Fast Expert, HomeLight, Illinois Realtors. These are all, I guess, profile pics. This is one of all profile pics that have come up for me. This is another picture I hate. But then this is what comes up for me in terms of images. Okay, and then you can, this goes on and on and on. Here's another way that you can show up as a real estate professional is to write articles. So I've been reached out. This is an article that I wrote in Chicago Realtor Magazine. And back in, I don't know what year this was, but this was many, many years ago. That was the first article that I ever wrote, which is why I got it framed. But those types of things also boost you up in a search. It's creating instant credibility for you as a real estate professional. You are a trusted advisor and you're a housing expert. I don't care if you've had a real estate license for one day. You are a housing expert. You know more about real estate than anyone who does not have that license. So challenge yourself. When they need, I've been reached out to by Chicago Cranes. I actually have an article that I have to write by the end of the week. In these trade association spaces, leverage that. You first VP, secretary, membership chair, guess what you know? Housing. You're a housing expert. Leverage the fact that I am the X, Y, or the Z for the who, and the who. And based on that information, they need to hear from you because you know information, you know things that other people don't know. You're in a space every day advocating for and doing things that other people aren't doing. They might read about it or hear about it, but you're in it. That makes you an expert. And those types of little boosts create that validation. So when your clients do search for you, they can see that you had an article in the newspaper or that you've written an article in a magazine. I had Channel 2 do an expose on home inspections. And I was on Channel 2 News doing a home inspection. And it was an actual real home inspection. It wasn't even a staged home inspection. They decided to show up and follow us around that day. And that was on the Channel 2 News. And so all of this just adds to your repertoire of who you are in the space where you say you are the professional. Is that helpful to anybody?
Yes.
So tomorrow, we're going to have a profile on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 places. So we got Yelp. We got, what you laughing at, Candy Thomas? What you laughing at? What's so funny, Candy?
I'm just listening. I like how you threw that in. Tomorrow we're gonna have profiles on.
So tomorrow when we meet for them tacos, before y'all eat, we got some homework. So we got Yelp. So here's why I like Yelp. Anybody travel?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Even if you just go to Miami, Atlanta, DC, Florida, you don't live there. So you don't know what to eat. You don't know where to go. You don't know where to go for the hookah lounge. You don't know what to do for where's the R&B, the crowd that I want to hang out. You're going to Google. You're going to go to Yelp. You're going to check out the reviews. People are doing the same thing for real estate professionals. I needed a plumber. Case in point, yesterday. I needed a plumber. Been needing a plumber for my kitchen sink. I don't know a plumber off the top of my head. Now, I'm sure I could have reached out to a number of my colleagues, but I just felt like the speed at which they might have responded might not have been what I needed. I Googled a plumber. They came the same day, and the same day it was resolved. 5-star review, and I gave them a 5-star review. Right. So my point is, those searches, people are searching, right? You may not know or have a referral for someone that you need. So you're going to Google it. People are doing the same thing when it comes to real estate professionals. So go back, Yelp.com, Realtor.com, Zillow.com.
Mhm.
And then I'm going to challenge you with NARAB, which is Dearborn Realtors Board, if you're a member.com. But then here's another one, Home Light.
Home Life.
Home Light, Light.
Okay.
Home Light is the actual real estate site, and they're actually creeping up into our space significantly more than they have in the past. They're competing with Zillow and Redfin, the likes of those. But people can go to Home Light, find a real estate professional, and get their home sold versus having to find one in real life. So if you come up in the search, you could be one of those professionals. Make sure that you're sharing not only your profile when you create it, have an updated headshot, have your bio, make sure you have a condensed version. Some of these profiles have small, maybe 74, what am I trying to say? You only have a limited number of
Characters.
characters. That's
Characters.
what I'm trying to say. Right, so you may not be able to put a 2-page bio on there. So have your condensed version and talk about we're not talking about the other stuff that you do. Okay, this is your real estate bio. Let's stay focused. Who are you trying to attract? What are we focusing on? You might have other businesses, but this is real estate. So make sure you have the condensed version to fit into whatever those limited character spaces are. Updated headshot, a link to your website. So if you don't know the link directly to get to the page, if you don't have a professional website, let's make sure you have your recharge website at a minimum. If you don't know what that link is, let's connect later today. By tomorrow, make sure you have it. So that way they can find you, right? They can go to recharge.com, but if they're trying to find you, we want to make sure they can get directly to you, any links to you. And then links to your social media. We're in a social world, and it's not going backwards, it's only going forward. So making sure that you show up on social media as a real estate professional. And if you realize that I'm not necessarily posting about real estate, you need to, you have to, you must. And that's just a matter of just updating regularly what you're posting about. We're human. So, you can determine if you want to post personal stuff and business stuff, but make sure you get the real estate stuff out there so people can find you and they can see that you really are a real estate professional. All right, I'm gonna pause right there. Any last thoughts, words, concerns, ideas, suggestions?
No, I just got some homework to do.
Right.
Definitely got homework.
I got anxiety now. That social stuff gives me anxiety.
I get it. I get it. Do one. If you're like, oh my God, do LinkedIn.
Yeah, I'll commit.
Do
I'll take
one.
it slow. I'll do one for the home.
Do one, but be intentional about where you show up. So wherever you do show up, make sure it's the headshot you want. Make sure it's the bio you want. Make sure the links go to the sites that are active, that actually give people updated information about you. Make sure you're intentional. Be intentional. What are you doing today that may not be reflected when you first posted or updated that site or created that site? Make sure it's reflective of who you are today and how you're doing real estate today and who you're focusing on. I made some notes a while back. You guys shared what your niche was. Maybe your niche has changed. Melanie said her niche was listings, CHA voucher holders, out-of-state sellers and buyers. If that's your niche, if someone searched for you, does it say that? Fausta said her niche was investors, developers, first-time buyers and sellers. If someone searched for you, Does it say that? Is that still your niche? Daryl said developers. Tara said first-time home buyers. So make sure that you're focusing on the people who you want to attract. That's the whole purpose of this exercise, is to attract the clients that you want to actually work with. So that way, when they look for you, it looks like you're talking to them. So that concludes today. I know I took you guys over a little bit, but I wanted to make sure that these calls, you actually have some takeaways to really look introspectively into how am I running my business. I love the fact that she said you are the CEO of your business. That to me sums it all up. So every day, do a little bit. One of the biggest things that I'm getting out of this Goldman Sachs class is the whole class is about my business. So for 14 weeks, that's what I'm doing. I'm working on it. So even my homework, it's my business. So it's not like hard, but taking the time is such a luxury. It's such a luxury. Time is such a luxury. And I really realized that we're so busy working in our business that we really take time to work on it.
Yep.
So taking that time, if that's every Monday for 2 hours, work on your business, work on your profile, work on your website, work on your marketing, create your video, that one that you don't want to do. Because I'm committed to that as well. I created an Excel spreadsheet and I've written down some topics and I got to make some videos. As much as I don't like to do it, hate to do it, am I in business or not? Then you need to show up how you want to show up. I say I coach and mentor agents, but I need to make some more content coaching and mentoring agents or selling houses or whatever it is that you do. Do that consistently. So that wraps up our call for today. I hope to see some updated profiles tomorrow at our Taco Tuesday because we're going to continue this conversation tomorrow. We have some new agents that are joining us tomorrow. So new opportunities. One asks specifically, is anybody looking to create a team? So bring your pitch if you're looking to create a team, because we got some agents that are looking to join up with you. And I think this is a perfect opportunity to take it back to the basics. In down markets, that's where millionaires are born. So this is where we get gritty. We get busy. So all those basic things, calling, door knocking, all the stuff that just seems like, oh, I need to do that. Yep. And if you do that for 1 hour, 2 hours consistently, you'll see the difference. So tomorrow we'll work on some marketing stuff, some ways that we can generate some more business. That's what we'll focus on, in addition to you guys sharing those profiles. Any questions, last thoughts?
No.
We good?
I have a question, but I can wait. It's more specific about looking at like tax records and people who maybe the tax information is in like a relative's name who is now deceased. So how to navigate those situations.
Okay. Well, reach out to me. Let's get your questions answered.
All right.
All right. Happy Monday, everybody. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.